return to the story on killings by Fulani herdsmen, and now we are joined by the spokesperson of the Fulani community in Abeokuta, that's the capital of Ogun State, Mohammed Labar. Good morning. Many thanks for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is another attack. Isn't it one attack too many?
Sure. It's a very sad and gory news that breaks up in Enugu. It's very unfortunate. We had it. Actually, we solicited with the people of Enugu, and we believe the evil perpetrators who are indicting our communities, by the special grace of God, they will be brought to book. The IG, even the president himself is not happy about it. Our own national president of our association is not also happy. So I think by the special grace of God, they will not go scot free. They'll be brought to book.
All right, can you tell us what are the reasons for these attacks generally? Because we've had them over and over again.
There couldn't be any reason for people to be killing other people. Most especially, we are all one, we are Nigerians. And there's no justification for it. I believe modalities are put in place by government, by agencies, for this business to thrive, the business of pastoralism in Nigeria. And there have been hitches between the two commodities, the farmers' crops, the farmers and the pastoralists. But actually, several states have taken bulls by the horns to make sure they establish committees that could resolve this crisis. And I don't see why this could continue persisting in other states. Though in the southwest here, there haven't been any such a large number of this kind of persistence. And so many states in the southwest here have done their best to make sure, because it's one of the flashpoints in the country. Because during dry season, we have 4 or 5 months of this business, grazing time during dry season. Most of our people come all the way from the northern part of the country to graze, to carry out their businesses here. But it's most times safety. We have less casualties most times, I think between 2-3 years now, especially, particularly in Oyo State and Ogun State. The Ogun State government have done tremendously well by creating this committee, keeping it in existence to make sure they nip the crisis at the bud, to make sure the business thrive. I think this news coming up now, we don't really know. The police are experts. The security agencies are experts, most especially when the president is tackling a lot of insecurity challenges in this country. I believe it will calm down, and then we'll get the evil perpetrators who are indicting our communities. When
you say evil perpetrators, are you dissociating yourself from these people? Because we had a lawyer on who made allegations, who said that when these attacks happen, your leaders come out to own that, okay, yes, these people are men, but these are the reasons for the attacks. Are you dissociating yourself from that? Sure, I have to dissociate my community from these evil perpetrators, because we are peace-loving Nigerians. We carry out our business, most especially when now we know how the situation of crude oil is depreciating in the whole world, and we believe the focus is on agric. And we have to keep this business alive, because it had been in existence before the discovery of crude oil. And we want it in peace, because we want to invite so many tribes. We want to invite so many people to join us in this venture, so that at least the country can be boast of exporting, or even getting our IGR to a large number, that we can be boast of exporting these things to other countries, not be boasting of importing it from other countries like we rely on.
Okay. All right, Mohammed, let me put you on hold and bring in Wale Fakile here to give us a reaction from the people on the herdsmen generally. Wale, good morning.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Fulani. And good morning to you, Mr. Mohammed.
Good morning.
Rainy Thursday it's been. Probably a message from the heavens that we should stop the bloodletting and let peace reign. So let me just take reactions on social media to hashtag Fulani Herdsmen. And this comes from Breno Omokri, says, we buy generators if FG doesn't provide power and borehole, if no water. But what do we do if FG doesn't protect us from Fulani herdsmen? Moving forward to Namdi, Anekwe says, they were Ijao militants blowing up pipelines. The whole nation agreed. Today, some don't agree they are Fulani terrorists murdering people. I'm sure Mohammed would have a lot to say about that comments. And Sata Nubari says, the people of Enugu expected the police to come to their aid. Same police whose IG took permission from Sanusi, a Fulani man, to help Ese. That's the abducted teenager who is free now. And Omani Oboli says, is anything being done about the Fulani Herdsmen killings? Am I missing something here? Rest in peace to everyone we've lost. God help us. And she is concerned. For Aminu Gamawa, a criminal is a criminal, irrespective of tribe or religion, and he or she should be treated as such. Criminalizing all Fulani is bigotry. For Tolu, she doesn't understand this Fulani herdsman situation at all. Do we have people pretending to be Fulani herdsmen? She's asking a question there. And for Don Ukereke, could be straight-faced, but not all Fulanis are hostile or predatory. Let's be vocal in denouncing terrorism. # barbarism. Those were some of the comments. Now, I was speaking with a community leader from North Central 2 days ago, and he categorically stated that the perpetrators of the Agatu massacres were indeed Fulani herdsmen. But the huge debate on social media is that why should these herdsmen move about with sophisticated weapons? If you could help us share more light on that.
Thank you so much. I don't believe the herdsmen really move with sophisticated weapons, because the business is to carry about herds of cattle around. And there haven't been any encountering with wild animals or criminals that could tackle them, because so many states are taking dimensions of making sure that they have their business free and fair. It has been discussed, like in my state where I come from, in Ogun State, we have a committee set up by the state government, and there have been an MOU signed with the government, particularly concerning the Yewa Ketu land on this aspect. Moving out with arms was agreed that they should be collected at the point of entry, which there hasn't been any even armed deposited with any police officer, because they don't go out with arms, because we sanitize them, we inspect them, we make sure that this thing doesn't take place, as been said. So I don't believe the herdsmen moves out with arms and ammunitions to carry out their businesses. But
Mohammed, sorry to interject. You
Yes.
heard me. A community leader from Agatu that was attacked said that the attackers were Fulani herdsmen, and they came with sophisticated weapons.
You see, this scenario, we can't, the police officers are experts, the security agencies are experts to investigate, and they are the one that can prove that these are the Fulani herdsmen or not.
There are also allegations that there's a conspiracy theory that probably the security men are working in tandem with you people.
I can't really agree with that, and I can't state that here, because I am not in Agatu axis. Here that I am, the experience I have here for more than 25 years into this business, we haven't had any such. And you see, there are criminals in every tribe. Pointing our fingers to a particular tribe that this is all these evil acts are perpetrated by them, it's unfair, it's unjustifiable. You understand? So we need to be very careful just at this point in time. If we think this particular business is carrying out evil acts on a community or invading a community, it's unfair to just carry out without proper investigation. Let the security agencies investigate. Because Fulani are not recruited, they are tribe, they carry out their businesses nationwide, even throughout West Africa, even throughout the whole world. You see, we have to get a system of getting a notion of how do we go about modernizing our businesses. Other businesses have been modernized. It is a gradual process. We've been talking about ranching. We've been talking about grazing reserve, cattle routes. Do you people talk about this encroachment? The cattle route, the grazing reserves that have been taken over by industries and highways, facilities. But in other words, it is not the point that all those things have been taken over, the facilities are not there, and these people are taking the laws by the laws into their hands. It is not so. It is...
Okay, fine. Wale, thank you very much for that. Now, certainly, this is certainly not about the Fulani people as a tribe, because it's really unfair to say Fulanese, but we're talking about the people who are carrying out these attacks. Now, you said earlier on there is no reason or justification why there has to be any attack against any community so far. But if we have to specifically itemize some of these attacks. What are the grievances? What leads to the Fulani, those who are carrying out the attack? What makes them attack a village and kill people?
You see, in the northern part of the country, where the common issue of rustling, cattle rustling, is taking place, I think the state governments, United States governments, have taken a lot of dimensions in making sure that that crisis is nipped. Here in the south, southwest and the southern part of the country, there haven't been any much experience of cattle rustling. You understand? And the cows here, they come down here from the northern part of during the dry season to graze. They graze well. They move about actually, which is not supposed to do. We're thinking of having the ranch thing, but there haven't been any facilities. Even the gazetted grazing reserves by the federal government, or let me say grazing games, they are not in existence anymore. But
all right, Mohammed, I think I'm asking, my question directly is talking about what is the grievance of the Fulani herdsmen attacking villages?
There couldn't be any grievance for them to take any action into their hands. I don't believe that it is a grievance, and it is even them that are taking action or taking, they are attacking villages.
Who are
the
those?
Fulanis, as you have said, or the herdsmen.
So they do it for fun? Or
they are not the one.
Oh, you are saying those attacking the villages are not Fulani?
They are not Fulani herdsmen. They are not real Fulani herdsmen.
Okay, so where do they come from and who are they?
The police need to investigate that and get that out, because you
just made a categorical statement here. So that means you must have some information that we don't have.
Exactly.
So please, can you just tell us more about that?
Yes, you see, ordinary Fulani man grazes cows, moves about from one place to the other. The armed robbers or bandits sometimes come to the roads and rob. You understand? There are evidences with police. When they rob highways, most times they block highways and rob people on the highways. When the police or security invaded them, they will run towards where these pastoralists are residing. So mostly, sometimes they even dress in the Fulani costumes.
Okay.
To indict them.
All right. So why would they indict Fulani people? And because criminals just go and do whatever they want to do. So why the Fulani people?
Because most times their target is to steal their cattle. So if they believe if they indict them and the police came to arrest Fulani people with their cattle, the ordinary cattle are there, it is easy for them to come and pick those cattle and rustle them. Most times this is the cases we experience. All
right. Let's go specifically to this Enugu attack. From the report we gathered, the statesmen there, that's the Fulani statesmen there, the elders there were called, were notified about this particular attack. Okay. They were called into a meeting. There was the security personnel got a wind of this attack, and they called them. They were having a stakeholders meeting, and these elders didn't deny the fact that this attack was going to happen. What they said was they were going to call their men to order. But before the meeting ended, the people struck. So I'm finding it difficult to reconcile you saying these men are not Fulani herdsmen, where the leaders of some particular group publicly accept that these men perpetrating the evils are their kingsmen.
Actually, I want you to look at this scenario. You said they were summoned, they were called, in other words, to live in peace and harmony with the communities. And later on, the attack took place. Just look at it. Somebody that wants peace, somebody that comes for peace on a table to carry out his business, and will rather go back after showing himself off that he is interested in peace and to perpetrate that evil act. Why will he come for the first place? To negotiate peace with the security agents or with the communities? To tell you there are something behind.
Perhaps you can't call your men to order?
I'm not saying I can't call my men to order. We communicate with each other. And these leaders who are representing our interests in that axis, as I said, they negotiate. They negotiate in the sense that they want to live in peace. They want to bring themselves out that they are not the evil perpetrators at even instance. And this thing happened. And they are still there. If you go to Enugu now, you meet our Fulani representative, our Fulani leaders represent, they are there. They didn't move an inch. Let the police investigate, let the security agencies investigate. Even if they are the one or they are, we cannot just point out and say they are the one. Because they cannot come at the first instance and negotiate peace and later on go back again and perpetrate this evil act. Because if they want to perpetrate it, they know that this thing is going to take place, they won't come to the security agencies or come to the community and respond that we want peace or we are ready to cooperate with you. Just look at it.
All right. Now we have Larry Suraj back on Skype joining us right now. Larry, it's good to have you on now. We have the Sarakin Fulani with us from Abeokuta, Mohammed Labar with us in the studio. Now, he said that those carrying out these killings in various parts of the country are not Fulani herdsmen. You are a security personnel. What is your finding generally and analysis on this?
No, I have every reason to agree with him. And I think Nigerians are making the same mistake that we made with the Boko Haram experience. These I had very good opportunity of alerting the world to this, even on your station, situation leading to the mayhem with the Boko Haram guys. We have just succeeded in combating to a very large extent the Boko Haram menace and terrorism activities. The Niger Delta militants were threatening, but luckily nothing is started. But now you're having this one with the so-called herdsmen. We are so playing so much to the gallery to the extent that even people who are educated, learned, and exposed are failing in their duties to conduct the minutest of all researches to understand what could be responsible for what. And all we just do is to generalize and then say this must be the people, even when we are seeing traces that are showing clearly that it might not be as a result of any activities connected to these people. Now, looking at how the situation goes, the herdsmen that we know usually moves around with knives and then the stick which they control the cows. You're talking about almost people who carry anything to start carrying out all these nefarious activities, having been defeated in their guise as working as Boko Haram. But we have a failure of a system, also of a people who does not learn from history and who does not take time out to separate ethnicism, religion, and politics from issues. And we endanger our lives and the lives of our people by just unfortunately failing in the basic responsibility as citizens to investigate matters before we jump to conclusions. And for me, it's so unfortunate that we're likely to start having conflagrations of our people in one ethnic group, one set of people, one community against another. For me, from all indications, it is clear, yes, you have conflict between herdsmen and farmers. It is not even only peculiar to Nigeria. It's even almost a West African issue, and so many other countries of that nature. But it has not assumed this dimension. And the failure of our people to separate criminality from conflict, then we're having a major problem on our hands. Unfortunately as well, the government is also failing in availing people with sufficient information and also taking advantage of intelligence systems to gather intelligence on how many of these operations happen, drawing a very critical analysis of how things are perpetuated and then what are the similarities between what and what.
Okay, just before we let Suraj go, just one more quick question. This particular attack that happened in Enugu, they got a wind of it. The security men were alerted. That's the report we got. Mm-hmm. And this herdsmen, the alleged herdsmen, still beat them to it. Why?
No, I mean, that is what I have just said about the failure of the security network. One of the things that we have also failed to do, and I also challenge the media to also go forward without resting and then also taking hook, line, and sinker the information of saying, yes, there's also an intelligence report or advance notice. It's to the extent of what actually was the bane of this conflict? What has happened? What is the genesis? Was there a crisis between that community and Fulani Herdsmen? Has there been a brewing conflict between them that could have led to this? It's very important. If there's a saying or if there's a public information to the extent that there was an advance notice, then what has actually happened leading to this? Have there been anybody talking to the alleged herdsmen? Because for people who say they have advance notice, they probably must have people that can be identified to be responsible to that. So have we made an effort or an overture to at least get information from almost the other side? This is a criminal activity. This cannot be tolerated under a civilized environment. People who are responsible for this must be made to pay for that to the last law of the land. But then we must be able to ensure that we interrogate issues as they unfold. We must get the root of the people who said there was an advance notice. We need to get those ones and then let them give information to the security on what was the advance notice about, where and what was the genesis of the crisis. Why do we have this level of aggression, on the community by a set of alleged experts?
Okay, Larry, I'm still going to put you on. Don't go yet. Still stay with us. Now, let me come to you, Haji Mohammed Labar. Yeah. Now, you said that these people are criminals. From what Larry Suraj has also said, these are not real Fulani herdsmen. Yeah. Now, these people go carry out attacks and they claim they're Fulani herdsmen. Now, they're giving the Fulani people or for Fulani herdsmen a bad name. You as leaders, what are you doing to try to curb this trend?
Yeah, thank you so much. Like I said earlier on, discussing with various agencies, security agencies and government. As it is now, I think this world, the pastoralists, they are so much exposed to so many things. They are heads of cattle. It's easy to assess and give a quotation of a cow that this cow worth so price, even in the market. And these things are on the streets roaming about. No specific area or grazing axis for them to go and be like in other advanced countries, in Argentina, Holland, and every other places. When you go, they have a lot of cattle, more than us. But hardly you move about for 2-3 days that you can see a cow moving around, roaming around the street. But it is not the same in Nigeria. But actually, I'm not blaming anybody. It is a culture and tradition that we've been going through, maintaining it, changing from that lane to the civilized world. It's not just going to be, it's not just going to come for a day, because most commodities in Nigeria today are still suffering from the same problem. We'll get there by the special grace of God, and because we keep it alive, that is the only way to resolve these issues, by making sure we go back to the drawing board. Okay. We look at these grazing reserves. We look at our cattle routes. If that modalities are not going to put in place, then let's talk about ranching. The ranching is, because mostly I believe the communities are saying a lot, that who will give land, who will give his father's land for grazing, who will give his portion for this. Then we'll look at those people that are interested in the business, call them together, sanitize them, discuss with them, now know how to place. If it is ranching that we're going to imbibe with, let's look at the ranching system. How do we go over it? People that have a lot of thousands of, we have wealth. The Fulani, ordinary Fulani has a lot of cattle, most especially. So
you wouldn't mind creating your own private ranches?
We wouldn't mind.
Not depending on the government, really.
Not depending on the government, as will how it will go, how it will not suffer what we have at hand, because we need to protect a lot of things to make sure we sustain this business.
Okay. All right, we still have Larry Suraj on the phone talking about the way forward. And I will still take you back to some allegations, some reports that we had based on this Enugu state, that some of these men who perpetrated this evil were transported. They came in from Nasarawa state. And some have advised that the roadblocks should be, the checkpoints should be brought back where people can be checked before they enter into neighboring states or traveling on the road. Do you agree with that, or you have a better solution?
No. I kind of disagree with that. We don't find solution just for one occasion, because of that, without looking at the larger implications of that. The menace of roadblocks and checkpoints was so terrible beyond what we are even talking about in terms of lives that were lost before now, which informed the removal of those roadblocks. The failure of the intelligence gathering, and then also conspiracy of some certain. I was also listening to the IG who said a particular police officer should be arrested, who was alleged to have supported those who carried out those activities. Unfortunately, the name of the police officer also gave an indication of someone from the southeast. So it is surprising that you would have an officer who also emanates from within his people, who would then be found to have supported aggression from external forces against his own people. So it is not about the checkpoint. It's about our responsibilities as citizens. It's about the failure of security agencies and intelligence networks. So for me, it is still the responsibility of just like they said. I kind of agree to some extent with the Fulani representative Herdsmen in the studio with you there. That it's actually a failure of the previous government to have actually understand the fact that we need these pastoralists. There's no way you can do without them. Stop them from coming to the southwest. And then how and where do we get the beef that we consume on daily basis? We consume thousands of heads on daily basis within the southwest alone. But it is the responsibility of government to have actually not, and that's one of the things that I also find very intriguing. People don't realize that even when you have grazing reserves, it's also about business for state. If Lagos State, for instance, decides to have a grazing reserve here in Lagos State, it's not going to be for free for the herdsmen to just come and invade. So it has to be business that the state will be making money. If Osun State, for instance, and Ibadan, where many of those heads are actually discharged on, they are bringing them from the north, decides to have a grazing reserve. And that also tells you it's big business for them. That is a different thing also from the ranches that is being mentioned. But it's about state, it's about governance, it's also about government coming to the realization of what is the responsibility of also finding a mediating ground between two potentially conflicting individuals, organizations, people, and businesses. So it is the government that is meant to actually wade into this and ensure that we don't have the repeat of this situation.
All right, Larry Suraj, thank you for talking to us on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you very much.
Right, we still have Alhaji Mohammed Labar here with us. Now, you said earlier on that those the Fulani leaders within different regions, they keep in touch. You guys keep in touch, and you know what's happening in other regions. Now, what are the leaders, all of you the leaders in different regions, what are you doing specifically to bring this trend to an end?
Yeah, we shared informations in the sense that we need to be civilized. We need to talk to our people. We need to tell them. We need to give them demarcations, because in every instance, every season, they have to come up with places that don't go about these places, move about these places, because we're still in the system of moving about before we could get to the modern civilization way. So I think we informed ourselves. Besides having communication between the Sarkin Fulanis, we also have the chairmen of Mieti Allah throughout the 36 states, which we have our president in Abuja now. We communicate with them. They also have the chairmen of each local government, because hardly you go to any state in Nigeria that you don't get Fulani herdsmen or Fulani residents, I may call them. So we discuss a lot, we sanitize ourselves like every other tribe is doing in Nigeria, so that we keep calm, so that this business will thrive, so that we live in peace and harmony as every other human being in this country. Because we've seen ourselves as great opportunists that we are carrying out this business for a very long time. Up till now, it's still in existence. We have to keep it by all means, by all standards, so that we move Nigeria forward and contribute our own quota for the development of this great country.
That's all right. Mohammed Labar, thank you very much here at the Sarakin Fulani in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Thank you for talking to us on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you so much. Yeah.